Hi, everyone. My name is Frederik, and I'm first and foremost Chief Innovation Evangelist at Google and author of the book, What's Next is Now. And I want to ask you a question. What kind of future do you wish for? Not the generic future that we see in the headlines, but your future, the one where your ideas really come to life. The one where you make an impact, the one that excites you when you think about it. So now, how often do you actively work on creating that future, actually? Not just thinking about it, not just planning for it, but actually shaping it. Again, my name is Frederik, and for the last 12 years, I've been fortunate enough to be in the driver's seat, really, when it comes to shaping the future. As Google's first Chief Innovation Evangelist, I had the privilege of learning from the brightest and passionate minds and helping thousands of people train something transformative, something that I want to share with you today. Innovation doesn't start from the outside. It starts from within, and it starts in your mind. Together, let's explore how to shift your mind state and take the first steps to create the future you truly want. So, for many of us, the future feels like something that really happens to us. We hear about AI, climate change, technological disruption, and let's be honest, it can feel overwhelming sometimes, like our future is being decided by others, by tech companies, by governments, by forces completely beyond our control. But what if you could create the future you actually wish for? What if you could train yourself to see opportunities that others miss, to connect dots that others don't even notice, to shape tomorrow instead of just responding to it? This isn't wishful thinking. During my time as Google's Chief Innovation Evangelist, I discovered that creating your desired future isn't about predicting it or waiting for it to arrive. It's about developing something far more fundamental: your mind state. And when I say mind state, I mean your perspective, how you see and engage with the world around you. It's not a fixed way of thinking, but a dynamic way of seeing. And here's the exciting part. This perspective can be trained. And the best part? Everyone can train this way of seeing to create the future they want to experience. And it's not about following the perfect process or having all the answers. It's about building the capacity to see the world differently, to shape your tomorrow today. So, how do people innovate and create these breakthroughs? This question fascinated me when I started at Google. I thought the answer might be in their tools or in their processes, or honestly, even the color of their Post-it notes. Yellow for normal ideas, or pink for the wild ones, or even green for solutions. But what I found was far more profound. The most innovative people weren't just thinking differently, they were seeing differently. They had trained themselves to embrace what I call a future-ready mind state. And within the teams I worked with, I noticed individuals who truly embodied this. There was the engineer who reframed every challenge as an opportunity, or the designer who constantly asked, "What are we not seeing?" And the manager who said, "Let's try something bold," even when the outcome was uncertain. And these people weren't waiting for perfect processes or perfect moments. They used their mind states to shape the future every single day. And it wasn't just what they worked on, it was how they saw the world around them that made all the difference. Steve Jobs once said, creativity is just connecting things, connecting dots. But here's what I think. It's not just about connecting the dots. It's about collecting them first. And while Steve never explicitly said that, he absolutely practiced it. He was a master dot collector. He studied calligraphy or practiced meditation, explored spiritual traditions in India, bringing together all these experiences that on the surface seemed completely unrelated. But those experiences expanded his perspective, giving him more dots to connect when the time was right. I actually meditate at the same Zen center in the Santa Cruz Mountains where Steve used to go. And no, sitting on the same cushion hasn't magically made me as creative as him. I've tried. Because really, it's not about where you sit or whose footsteps you follow. It's about training your mind to stay curious and open, to collect the dots all around you. And the more dots you collect, the more possibilities you have to connect them in ways that others can't, really can't. And I saw this same pattern at Google. One team working on search results decided to do something different. Instead of focusing solely on algorithms, the obvious dots, they started collecting unexpected ones. They observed how people searched in internet cafes or how students helped grandparents find information and how tourists navigated websites in unfamiliar languages. And those observations led to a breakthrough. The best search results aren't just about accuracy. They're about understanding context. That insight transformed how Google approached search, making it more intuitive and human-centered, like integrating context into features as Google Maps or personalized suggestions, and now with the latest AI. But you don't need to work at Google or be Steve Jobs to experience this. Think about cooking. The best home cooks don't just follow recipes, they experiment. They notice how different temperatures bring out flavors in their coffee, how textures affect their kids' lunches, or how colors inspire creativity at the farmer's market. This is the same principle. Collect dots from everywhere and connect them in ways others might not. Here's a simple practice to start training your mind state. I call it the marble practice. All you need is 2 jars and a bag of marbles. You can also use M&Ms. And I want you to label one jar assumptions and the other one learnings. And every time you challenge an assumption, drop a marble in the assumptions jar. Then for every insight you gain, drop a marble in the learnings jar. Let's look at an example. For years, I assumed I was only creative in the mornings. So 1 marble went into the assumptions jar. Then I decided to test it. I tried brainstorming in the afternoons or taking walks at night or experimenting with new routines. And here's what I discovered. Late afternoons are great for connecting ideas. Evening walks spark unexpected insights. And even late nights have their own creative energy. So, 3 marbles went into the learnings jar. It's a simple practice, but it's powerful. It keeps you experimenting and growing every day. So let me ask you again, what kind of future do you wish for? Not the one in the headlines again, but your future, the one where your ideas come alive, the one where you make a difference, the one that fills you with excitement. And now ask yourself, how often do you actively work on creating that future? Not just thinking about it, not just planning it, but shaping it with every choice you make. Here's the answer. Start small. The future isn't created in one grand leap. It's shaped in moments of curiosity, in small experiments, and in the way you challenge your own assumptions. The next time you face a decision, big or small, just pause for a moment and ask yourself, what's one thing I could do differently here? What's one bold experiment even I could try? Because the future you wish for isn't out there waiting for you. It's built by the choices you make, the ideas you explore, and the dots you collect today. Innovation doesn't happen to you. It happens from you. So start small, one jar, one marble, one shift in your mind state at a time. Thank you, and see you in your future.